Hi everyone, I'm Manuel, and I think Gorgonzola and radicchio are a winning combination by themselves. But have you guys ever tried them in a calzone? Pour the all-purpose flour into a bowl. I am using what is known as a medium-strength flour, or on the W index, a 280 to 290 flour. Then crumble in the brewer's yeast. And we will pour in almost all of the water, then start mixing. Always pour the water in just a little at a time. Not all flours are the same. Also, not all flours will be able to absorb the same amounts of water. Add in the salt. And just keep on stirring. When hand-making dough, I always recommend that first you start with a spoon, and afterwards with your hands, because this way, at least you don't immediately get the dough all stuck between your fingers, and it keeps all the ingredients inside the bowl. I will keep kneading until there is no more flour left in the bowl. Then, with the dough on the countertop, I will continue to knead it. Don't add any more flour, even if it gets sticky. If you have a stand mixer, just use the stand mixer. Otherwise, what exactly are you keeping it around for? One of the best calzones that I have ever eaten, I had in Naples. It was simple, with just buffalo ricotta, salami, and pepper. Simply amazing. However, since I am someone who loves gorgonzola, I wanted to combine it with the bitter edge of the radicchio. Believe me, they'll work great together. The dough is nice and smooth. It is no longer sticking to my hands, so it's time to transfer it into a nice bowl. Now, our dough is covered with plastic wrap, and it needs to rise for 1 hour at room temperature, and then for 12 hours in the refrigerator. Look how perfectly my dough has risen. So now I will transfer it onto the countertop. With this dough, I will make 6 calzones, weighing about 270 to 275 grams each. Want to make them smaller or bigger? That's okay, but it's important they are all the same weight. For a typical domestic oven, I highly recommend that they shouldn't weigh over 300 grams. Take a piece of dough and flip it over. So, as I like to say, pull all the sides in and make them converge in the center. Then we will work to form our dough into a nice little ball. Use the classic rounding technique like this, which is done by using this part of your palm. Here, create some tension, like this, and then close the bottom seam. Here it is, the first calzone. You can already see the first bubbles, so we did a good job. Let's put our calzones to rest in a specialty pizza dough proofing box. A baking sheet is also fine, perhaps with another sheet set on top covered with plastic wrap. The important thing is that there are no drafts. Otherwise, the surfaces of our dough balls will dry out. Do not neglect this process, because it is very important. It will give our calzones a beautiful structure, and it will make it easier to roll them out. Our balls need to rise for another 2 hours or so. Maybe in winter they might take a little bit longer. The important thing is that they need to double in volume. In the meantime, we can take care of the filling. I have already cut the fiore di latte mozzarella into strips. It is very good, and I have let all the excess liquid drain out. The gorgonzola is ready. It's nice and fragrant. We just have to cut the radicchio. First, cut it in half, remove the more leathery part, and then cut it into strips lengthwise. Cut that in half as well. That way it will fit into our calzones. Now we can start to roll out the calzones. Sprinkle them with some flour. This way, it will become much easier for us to take them out of the box. Unlike a classic style pizza, which should be rolled out to have a thicker crust around the edges, our calzone dough should be rolled out so that it has an even thickness all over. You want to try to roll it out to reach a diameter of about 30 centimeters, while always being careful not to get the bottom stuck. If you have a rolling pin, go ahead and use it. Don't worry. Okay, we have made our disc of dough, so now we should top it, just this half of it. So let's start with a good helping of the gorgonzola cheese, and then the radicchio. And finally, the mozzarella, which will be the gooey part. You could use a bufala mozzarella, or you could use a fior di latte like me. The important thing is that all of the excess liquid needs to be drained off well. Be careful not to overfill the calzone, because the filling may leak during cooking, and then it's just a pain because you have to clean it. Take the bottom part of the dough and make it match up. Can you see how right now there is too much filling on one side? So what we are going to do is very slowly and very carefully. We will work to distribute the filling uniformly. Look how it has already started to take on the classic shape of a calzone. The most important part is to seal it shut, like this. The final steps. Take a pizza peel and drizzle some olive oil on top, while trying not to dirty the pizza peel, Parmigiano, and a nice grind of black pepper. Now it's ready for the oven. Come with me. In a static oven at 250 degrees, we'll bake the calzone on the pizza stone, which I had already left in the oven to preheat well for 30 minutes. The calzones are ready. They are burning hot. Now, let's wait just a couple of minutes, and then we can cut into them and eat. Look at that. Look how amazing the stuffing is. Let's taste it. This calzone is so good.